All right, tax time is right around the corner, April 15th. Mark your calendars. And if you haven't started putting together all of your paperwork, right now is the time to do it. And Helene Segura is here. She is a certified professional organizer. She's always getting us ready. And taxes, you know, we talked about it when we were discussing it. This is not a fun segment as far as like, ooh, taxes. We love taxes, but it's necessary for people.
Absolutely. Everybody has to file their taxes by April 15th, so it's one of those necessary evils.
All right. Well, tell us some tips, because for a lot of people, they just stick things in a shoebox. They put papers here. I'll get back to it later, and it's scattered everywhere. What can they do now if they're in that predicament?
If they're in that predicament, we're going to have a little game that we can play at the very end.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to gather papers from around the house, but would be really nice is if they can prepare ahead of time. So that means setting up some kind of filing system if you're working with papers, or if you prefer to go digital, getting that scanner.
Okay, so let's talk about this first.
So this is an accordion file, and this is super simple because it's just January through December by month, and all you need to do is drop in anything that's income into one accordion file, anything that's expenses into another, and at the end of the year you have everything divided out January through December.
Very nice, and it's done simple.
Yes, it is.
Each month. All right.
Now this is a little similar in that there's an accordion file inside, but this is for folks who are mobile, so people who own their own business or they do a lot of traveling, they can keep all of their paperwork and receipts in there until they make it back home. And then this is for something that can sit on top of the desk, so if you don't want to reach in and deal with an accordion file, then you've always got a hanging file tote, so you can just drop everything in January through December.
Very nice. So you can do those three things.
Yes,
all right.
Exactly. Now, if you have papers all around the house.
Yes, like this.
You ready for this part?
Yes.
All over. So what you want to do is gather everything up.
Okay.
And so if you have kids, you can also make them a part of the game in that, hey, if you see paper from around the house, bring it over here.
Okay.
And then you can set up a workstation like this on a table and divide up your papers into categories.
Okay, so this one says monthly bills.
And then we've got the mortgage here, or
Okay.
your rent statements. We've got bank statements, anything that comes from the IRS, your tax papers come in.
Okay, because we need all of them, right?
1099s, yes. Any legal papers that come in, and then your receipts.
Okay. And should you have a file also if you don't know what you're going to do with it, or if you don't know if it's a write-off or not, too?
Yes,
okay.
you can go ahead and have an I don't know pile, so that way you can go through it later.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, now, to add a little fun to this, if you're doing this by yourself, it's not exactly the most exciting thing to do.
Fun to go against someone, a little competition?
Right,
Okay.
so if you're by yourself, you can use a timer, so you can set it for 5 minutes and just race. Otherwise, winner takes all, chocolates.
Ooh.
Okay? We're
Okay.
going to divide up these papers into categories, so that way we are ready to
I've
go.
got a bigger stack than you.
Well, I could just talk
No, I'm
while
just
you
sorry. I just
talk.
dropped some of them. I didn't mean to drop them on purpose.
That's okay.
Okay.
Hey, these would be I don't knows because these aren't receipts. These are pictures and cards that are lying
Oh,
around the
this
house.
is right. Okay.
Yeah, so we can set those in the I don't know pile.
All right, so ready?
Set, go.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, see, so part of this is taking the time to figure out what exactly is on that paper.
Oh, okay.
Utilities,
Discover, I don't know.
monthly bills, utilities. And then once you
Oh,
have
utility.
Yeah,
Okay.
once you have all these papers sorted, then you can decide what all you're going to need for
And
taxes.
when I'm playing this game with you, it makes me realize how much easier it would have been if I had just started at the start of the year and started putting things together. So, Helene, this is another good reason why, if you can start early and do it in those files, it really can help, even if you do it month by month, huh?
Yes, exactly. Now, if you are in this bind and you have all these papers piled up, you need to think about April 15th is coming up pretty quickly.
Right.
So you want to make sure you set aside time because this is just the dividing part to get your papers
Sure.
together. You still need to do the actual computations to fill out the tax forms. So make sure that you're starting with your tax forms at least a week ahead of time if you don't want to stay up all night the night
All right.
before.
Helene Segura, once again, she is an author, speaker, and a certified professional organizer, and people can get in touch with you. She's got a Facebook page, so you can take care of that as well. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And we'll share the chocolate. How
Okay.
about that? All right. We'll be back after a break right here on Fox News First. Happy tax filing.